Basundi is a rich and creamy traditional dessert made by reducing milk. It is popular across the country and it is known by different names. You could also make interesting variations like adding mango puree or sitapal puree or even some orange zest to it. But the classic version flavored with just saffron and cardamom is just as delicious and I absolutely love it. So if you have never made Basundi before, Diwali is the perfect excuse to try it. Here is my way of making it. Please subscribe, please stay tuned, click on the bell and do not forget to tick on the checkbox to make sure you receive email notifications when I upload a new video. It's a fairly simple recipe but requires you to spend some time, but the results are so worth it. We need milk. I'm using full fat milk. We need milk which is at least 4.5% fat. Believe me, this makes a world of difference to this dessert. Don't even think about making this with low fat milk because you'll be really disappointed. You'll not get the texture or the consistency. I have some saffron here, there's some sugar and I have some sliced pistachios for garnish. Alda asked me to try some of their cookware and this vessel I thought is just apt for something like Basundi. Their tri-ply range of cookware has the cooking surface made of stainless steel and there is aluminum sandwiched in between for even distribution and better distribution of heat. It's a healthier option, looks very elegant and is induction safe as well. So we need a pan which will allow us to cook the milk till it reduces to 1/3 of its original volume. So it is extremely important to use a pan which has a really thick and heavy bottom so that the milk doesn't burn. So the milk has come to a boil here. I'm going to be taking some of this hot milk and putting it into this saffron. And crush the saffron. And now we'll keep this aside. Once the milk comes to a boil, I'm going to be keeping a ladle in this so that the milk doesn't overflow. We'll be cooking this on low heat throughout the process, and I like to keep a clean small steel plate on the counter just in case I need to keep the ladle on it. You do not want anything acidic getting into the milk accidentally, that would totally ruin it. I prefer to make Basundi after I'm done with all my cooking as I do not want rasam or kadhi simmering on the next burner. You don't really need to be constantly stirring this, you just need to be around. You could be reading a book or watching a movie. The milk will keep foaming up and I like to stir and kind of tear the cream that keeps forming on the surface. So the cream remains in small bits and pieces and gives it a really nice texture. If you do not constantly keep stirring the cream that forms on the surface, it will form largish and longish bits of dry cream which I don't really like. Every 10 to 15 minutes we need to scrape the milk solids that keep accumulating at the sides of the pan and scrape it back into the milk. This kind of sums up making Basundi. The milk will become creamier and thicker as it boils, and we need to keep cooking this milk till it reduces to 1/3 of its original quantity. What we want is some really creamy and rich pudding full of soft bits of cream. It will have lots of small bits of cream, but it will still be homogeneous. I have taken 1.5 liters of milk in this pan. We need this to reduce to about ½ liter approximately. This will take approximately 2 hours. And the cooking time will depend on the quantity of the milk and the vessel you're using and the heat you'd be giving. So don't really go by the time, go by what you see in the pan. After nearly 1.5 hours plus on low heat, you can see that the texture of the milk has changed, the color has changed too. You can see that the consistency has changed here. You need to be very careful and stir it more often as the pudding becomes thicker and thicker. So now this has reduced to about 1/3 of the original quantity. We'll now add the sugar. Doesn't need a lot of sugar. We are now going to be adding the saffron. I can't really imagine someone not liking saffron. It gives such a rich flavor and color. We will simmer this for a couple of minutes and then turn off the heat. Even after 2 hours of constant cooking, these handles are surprisingly cool to the touch and there is nothing stuck to the bottom of the pan. which is really good. The basundi will continue to thicken as it cools, and then it will thicken more when you keep it in the fridge. Basundi is best when it is served chilled. If it is too thick, you can add some cold milk and some powdered sugar if needed to adjust the consistency and the taste. And then you could garnish it with some sliced pistachios and serve. Wish you and your family a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Please do share your Diwali special recipes with me.